Well, you printed out the,
Oh, did you? Oh,
there.
hey, look at you being prepared.
Save the day.
Blind squirrel finding that every now and then.
I was planning on getting out of my office early.
At least getting rubbing box right.
Got called in my hair. So.
I didn't print off anything for the Verizon thing.
I'll pull it up.
Yeah, I was planning on leaving early so that I could get minutes done. And then didn't happen. So. Natalie did print those out for you. You.
Yeah.
Please.
Oops, wait a minute, this one.
Get the aim.
Sure did.
I like that pen.
It is.
Sit down.
Yeah, good. Yeah, good.
Thank
Yeah, very
you.
much physical therapy. Nothing, really, no, they didn't really say to do anything like that. They still got me on weight restrictions as far as how much I'm supposed to lift and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And he is a.
What's that?
You beat that.
Game basketball, you know?
Basketball.
Can't play that at all.
Not the strongest suit, at least football.
Like I said, the pain was, when I woke up from surgery, the pain was, I had no pain from that.
You were away if it, what they did fix it, huh? Yeah, I mean, that's a good sign.
Still got numbness in my two fingers there. Yeah, those are still numb, but they said that that'll take 2 to 3 months if that goes away. If it doesn't go away, it might always be there. Yeah, they said that it was pretty jammed up in there. All right, 6 o'clock. Welcome to the Town of Cherry Buffalo's council meeting for December 3rd. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Mark Pepple,
Present.
David Van Horn,
Present.
Kevin Keener,
Present.
Madeline Faber, present.
Just on here.
Yeah, just like.
All right, at this time, open up for any public comments.
Finally come. You have public comments? Super professional here.
Anybody going once, going twice? All righty. Moving on, old business, ordinance 2025-14, the 2026 salary ordinance. Discussion, any changes, anything to that? We introduced it last meeting, so.
Make a motion that we approve ordinance 2025-14.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the ordinance 2025-14, 2026 salary ordinance. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
new business, resolution for lease of property.
Give resolution, by chance, Ellen.
It'd be 2025-15.
Having real time. Due to printer problems we discussed, here's the resolution. Under Indiana law, you have the ability to lease property, but you have two choices. One is to get two appraisals, which is expensive, and the other is to do an RFP process. You've had a cell company who's reached out about leasing some ground, about 10,000 square feet. And I told him that the town is interested, but we have to go through the legal process first. So this resolution will authorize you to use this alternative method of leasing without getting the two appraisals. And this is authorizes me and Jeremy to be the officers to go through that process. So we would submit requests for RFPs, get them back, review them, kind of negotiate the best deal, bring it back to you for approval. We'd have to have a public hearing and approve that lease if that's something.
I think that's probably the easiest.
Yeah,
Easiest and cheapest.
Yeah.
Way of.
Get two appraisals and stuff, doing all this, I mean, it cost you $4,000 just to do that, and just lost 2 years worth of leases for it. Lease payments.
Yeah, I like that. This is the right way to go. And perfect. I'll make a motion, we adopt resolution 2025-15.
Second.
Have a motion and a second on the table for resolution 2025-15. Lease property. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 We'll get you a signature page for that.
Thanks for doing that.
Sure.
All right, that's that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you got a little bit of extra new business, I
Yeah.
invited.
Yep.
Yeah.
You guys are up.
So, my name is Lisa Waterman, and I'm the chairman of what's now been created as called an ad hoc committee of the library. And our real purpose was to decide what is the path for the future of the library here in Churubusco. And that was really by virtue of going through some stuff that Madeline had started, and a lot of things have changed a lot. So we wanted to give you guys an update along with ensuring that the public knows that things are going on behind the scenes and what's kind of happening. So the ad hoc committee is basically a committee that is formed outside of the board of trustees of the library because we felt we needed expertise and involvement from the community. So now there are 7 members of the ad hoc committee. And the ad hoc committee's sole purpose is to figure out what's happening with this project and where we're going forward. The ad hoc committee is made up of Paul Voigt, the superintendent of schools, Rob Marr, previous owner of CNA Tool, Randy Graucock, a local CPA, Kelsey Gibson Graucock, who represents homeschoolers along with entrepreneurship. She's the daughter of Wayne Gibson, a prominent businessman here. Kurt Gray, Mr. Construction, previous project manager for a lot of construction projects in the Fort Wayne area and around the country. Mel Leagoff representing agriculture, and then me with finance, general planning, and board stewardship and such. So with that, this morning, in fact, we actually went through an analysis of what different opportunities the library has. And because the PNC building, known as the Coalition Projects, which was really one of the options that we had. And before we dived into that and said, let's do that, we went through quite an analysis to determine that is our best move forward. From the triad that was created with the town, with the coalition, with the library, and I'll also say a partnership with the Whitley County Community Foundation. You guys know the history of having that all come together. The other part that happened, and much of this happened this year, and I think too in the development of the project, trying to pull the right pieces together didn't quite coalesce quite the way we wanted it to. And the project, I think a lot of the people in the public think it's all done and over with and nothing's happening, but there's a lot of stuff that's been happening behind the scenes. One is the creation of the ad hoc committee, which needs to go through board approval at the library. And recognizing that we didn't really have the resources, I don't think, and the leadership we needed to have the project go through the way it was going before. That being said, I think we absolutely have it now. We've got a lot of wonderful people, a lot of great ideas. It was Madeline's brainchild to put this thing together. I think it's a fantastic project, and now we're trying to execute on that. With that, it has become painfully obvious that a lot of changes need to happen in the library. Those changes have really started. Lots of stuff is going on at the library now. In addition, it also, in recognition that Governor Braun changed the whole property tax situation, that changed everything this spring. But I will say too, that the unfortunate reality is the library has not been tended to very well over the last, I don't know, maybe 50 years. Because our library is a library that stuck in 1970 instead of a library of 2025. So the goal is to make it a community hub of activity, and the PNC building is the perfect location to do that. It also is a perfect opportunity to revitalize downtown. We got some really awesome things going on down there. But the PNC building sitting there empty is just kind of an eyesore, and everybody's like, what is going on there? So with that, we're coming up with some plans that I've shared with some people, and this is much in the conceptual stage as well as the execution stage, because there's a few things I need to ask you guys about. But the CPA is working on pro forma statements, which basically is saying how much do we need to have operationally in order to function as a library in a newer building. One of the things that Rob Marr and I have been talking over the summer about things is it probably makes sense to do a phase-in instead of this massive project. We will eventually need to address property tax, but it's not gonna happen under this administration. It's done and over with. But just know the library, Cherubusco Public Library is the second lowest funded in the state of Indiana. That's not a great accolade of any sort. But the thing is that as I've talked to so many people, including all of you, county council, county commissioners. We have a very, you and I met with a gentleman, Steve Park, and I've mentioned this to all of you guys. Steve is an architect previously with Moak Park. He was a creator of that with Mr. Moak, and he's Mr. Park. He is a unique gentleman who has the expertise to make phenomenal projects, who basically kind of says, but I'll charge you $5,000. And oftentimes he then turns around and donates that money back. Some notable projects, he was the architect behind Maple Creek Middle School, which is now the model, as I understand, for Northwest Allen County Schools. He just finished up Huntington North High School, football stadium. It came in, I believe, they said it was gonna be 18 million. He came in at 7 million. Everybody's, and put extra things in it because he believes in repurposing and using resources. So his deal is he's got a co-op that is an established group of businesses that are in the construction business and maybe a resource that are already tried and true, that agree to work at certain prices for not-for-profits. And in this case, we want to talk about that. And then two, with the Whitley County Community Foundation, they have continued to pledge support. Right now, I just got through writing a grant with them that the Lilly Foundation just gifted them an opportunity to potentially receive $750,000. And they've asked for the library to give more information, so we're constantly talking to them. There's a two-pronged approach that's going to be required, in my humble opinion, and I think this is seeming to come to pass, that we're going to need money. That's, at the end of the day, we need money. Where are we going to get it? We're going to get it from grants. We're going to get it from asking people in this community to contribute. And I think most of you guys know it, I'm a financial planner, so I got all kinds of great ideas and tax strategies to help people that could create income for them. And also that's in partnership with the Whitley County Community Foundation. So the first thing is we got to raise money to make that. The good news is we don't think it's going to cost anywhere near the original estimate of $3.5 million. We think we're probably in the million, could get us there. Kirk went through.
With the phase.
Yeah, with phasing in and stuff. And it's not gonna be perfect, but it doesn't have to, that whole building doesn't have to be developed tomorrow. So with that, the secondary piece is the library has always had an endowment. An endowment is a fund that is set aside in which you don't touch the corpus. And the corpus is like, if I give $100, $100 is the corpus. But by definition, that $100 will now pay me forever and ever a 4% payout per Whitley County Community Foundation standards. That being said, I'm hoping that we can get that endowment to about $2 million. Then forevermore, we will have $80,000 coming to the library as a funding source. If it grows to 4 million, 4 minus 6 is 160,000. So that those two go hand in hand because we can't just have building funds to build if we don't have a revenue source. And right now, we've got revenue sources. We get money from income tax and we get money from property tax. It's just pretty low. We also have some assets already. We're certainly not empty-handed at the library, but we don't have a ton. So the big deal is that we see, and as we went through this analysis, the ad hoc committee, we've been meeting since October. We meet every 2 weeks. And today's absolute focus was, do we want the PNC building? And everybody who has gone through there has said it would be a game changer. It would be absolutely a game changer to get the library in there. That being said, it has to also be a community center. Again, this was Madeline, she put this thing together to go, let's make this happen. It can be a pretty amazing project. And when Paul Voigt went through that, he was like, this would be a game changer. Absolutely a game changer. Because I think, and we heard that today, everybody went through it, we went through it last week, everybody's like, this is really pretty nice in here. You need to get rid of the teller line, just seeing the possibilities. So with that, now, as I understand, I think that's all. Let's see. So right now, we've got 3 different things that are going on. So lots of future things are gonna happen. We were talking this morning about creating a quick look day and having people come in to see it. You'll start seeing some fundraisers start. We're gonna start personally asking and trying to seek resources that can help us. That being said, there's a lot that have been uncovered, and now we just need to do the ask. So there's technology grants, there's educational grants, there's literacy grants, and these are all foundations that are right around here. There's Auburn, there's the DECO Foundation, Whitley County Community Foundation, Dunwood Foundation. I've got 2 clients who are like, Lisa, just ask. So we've just got to come up with the formulation of the plan, which is the next step. When I talked to Mark, Mark was like, you need to come and kind of say what's going on. Because with that, we need to start making the next steps. So that means we've got to coordinate the coalition, the town, and the Whitley County Community Foundation holds a lien on the building. But the thing is that and I talked to Steve Park today, and we've got to figure out, so who's going to do the hiring of who? So Steve said, I'll just charge you $5,000 to do it. And just to put that in perspective, an architect might normally $150,000 to $200,000. So this is pretty incredible. So anyway, we've got to figure out, so the coalition owns the property, but you guys are supporting it financially with the different bills and stuff. But ultimately, we either need to, and I should say too, the coalition, so this is a question for you, Andy, really, that we can't have the coalition just exist to circumvent the public bid process. It has to have a continued thing, or we just need to make it a public project.
Yeah, I mean, right now the coalition has a purpose.
Yeah.
It was to own this building and have a community center there and a library. There was
It was also,
Yeah.
I mean, I had applied for grants for other projects through the foundation, and the coalition, and we were awarding grants for other projects. So, I mean,
Its sole purpose wasn't this, so it's still, and you see that, and I think Lisa's now the president of that. It needs some new board members, and there's a few things here that need to be reconstructed.
It needs some new life.
It does.
Yeah.
And I think too, in acknowledging that, we've got some wonderful momentum going. We've got some, you've had visionaries going on, but I just remember different things I've gotten involved with. Sometimes the harder it is, the more amazing it is when it happens. Because this just makes all kinds of sense in every level. The Community Foundation really sees this as just a wonderful way to coalesce the community. We were talking about having a place where you could meet. There really isn't a place you can meet here. You got to go to a coffee house or whatever, but 4-H clubs, where do 4-H clubs meet? If you go to any library around the community that is a thriving library, it isn't just books. It's technology. It's a meeting hub. It's a place where people can convene. It's a place where people come to seek information and seek people. And that's what we need our library to become. So with the coalition then, that whole purpose continues, which is fantastic. Then we've got to figure out how do we make the next steps because we're gonna have to start hiring and utilizing some dollars and figuring out how that works. And Steve was saying probably that would be with you, Andy, and figuring that out. And where we go.
Steve from Huntington?
Steve
He
was from Huntington.
He was our original architect on this project.
Okay.
He did all the conceptual drawings that we do have. Not we, the coalition.
Yes, I know Steve Park from Huntington.
Yeah, he's probably the same guy.
He's the president of the.
He lives like in Markle now.
He's from Huntington County. though.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
under.
Yeah, it's.
And he said I think he said.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I think what you're probably saying is, if the library's gonna start, I don't know what word you're on, but what I think I hear you saying is, the library's gonna start investing in this project. They're gonna need some assurances that they can have the project.
yes,
Yeah,
and I
great
think
sense, yeah,
too,
yeah.
that you guys have all wanted it because you're like, wait, we did this, what's going on? I'd say that the library 100% is in. And now with the ad hoc committee, we've got the resources and expertise probably to start executing on that. And gotta have money, that's gonna be the end all. But that was part of what, I know Mark said, we just can't have this go on, for years and years. But just we were talking about a timeline this morning and thought the earliest probably that we could be in there is January of 27, if everything starts working. I'm feeling confident about the Community Foundation's help with this. I think that would be a substantial gift to us. And then that's just gonna start generating additional possibilities. But we've got to get Steve involved to get this whole thing starting to craft forward.
I think the biggest hurdle we had initially, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, because we talked about this, was, so Community Coalition has 2 members, so we got these 2 right here, and we need to find 3 more members, which I know they're working on. Is that the town has been footing the bill.
Yeah.
And they've told the coalition, we don't want to foot the bill anymore.
Yeah.
So sell the building or do something with it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that everybody wants the library, so I think that's from the town's perspective, it's like they don't wanna, I mean, you can convince them otherwise, but continue to carry
I trust everybody, yeah.
carry the cost of this building in perpetuity. I think, as Mark probably told you, yeah.
That was my concern. I just didn't want to see us 2-3 years down the road. It's like, okay, we're still doing this,
Yeah.
So I think, and I'm talking for myself when I say this, I'm 100% in as long as we see some movement and you guys saying that you're all in. I think we want to work together, at least I want to work together and move towards that project being completed because, like you said, I think it's important for the town to get it. So
Thanks. I think too that just attending the ad hoc committees, I mean, we're all in, we're pretty excited about it, and there is a lot that needs to happen, but just property tax, it just can't be, we've got a school that's gonna be asking for money. So we've gotta figure out different avenues. And then when you're looking at our community, we have incredible resources. There's partnerships that we're looking at all over the place, and like with Steve also, he is currently the architect in charge of the Whitley County Tech Building. And he's working with the building trades, so we're gonna be trying to get the building trades to perhaps do some of the
They're
demolition.
saving a ton of money on that project.
That's what I mean, and
Like
he's the guy.
$700,000.
He's the guy. And he's the guy. Yeah, he's the guy. So, there's a few huge things, and, Kirk, I'll let you talk actually about the construction, because a lot of people in the community are like, why do you want like a crappy old building like that? Well, let's just build a new one. So maybe you talk
Yeah.
to that.
I can.
Yeah.
So Lisa kind of talked about, we kind of evaluated some options. We actually talked about 4 different options. First one, utilize the PNC building and run with that. Second one was, can we do some renovations in an addition at the existing library site? That's a possibility. Thirdly, but this is out of the picture now, we were considering the Masonic building and then adding additional to that. And then the fourth one was just start from scratch, find a piece of property and go from scratch. Okay? So we'll kind of talk a little ballpark here, what we were looking at. The PNC building is a little over 13,000 square feet, both floors. So to make this fair, what I did was each of the other three options, we would increase the square footage so it was apples for apples as far as square footage. So obviously, if we started from scratch, and this is just a ballpark square foot cost for 13,000. So from scratch, we were looking at about $4.5 million really, to go from scratch. The other one then would have been the Masonic building, and I kind of look at a range because of the renovation of the existing square footage. I kind of gave us a range of dollars per square foot to do that because it's all cloud in the sky stuff at this point. But we were looking at a range of $3.3 to $3.5 million to get the same square footage. The existing library, it's really small, it's only 3,000 square feet, so we would add 10,000 square feet to get the same type of thing. We were looking at 3.8 to 3.9 to renovate that roughly. Now, with the PNC building, I'll give you a little bit more detail on the renovation cost. So this includes the $200,000 mortgage in this. And what I did, I took a range of $110 to $150 a square foot to get us some min-max on that. So min, and this is all in, using the full 13,000 square feet, and I'll talk about it a little bit after that. So the min were about 1.7 to a max of 2.2 all in. Now, looking at phasing this, obviously we're going from 3,000 square foot at the existing library space. So, the first phase, we look at structure as a whole, obviously the roof and some increased square footage for them. It would be some restroom renovations and really get everything up to code. So, back to Lisa's comment, that $1 million will probably get the library in there plus some. So that would include probably some minimal meeting space and get that going. And then the remainder, 700,000 to 1.2, then we're looking at the long term of that. What's that going to be? It's going to be meeting spaces. Just tech
kids
lab,
area,
just
teen area,
everything.
stuff.
In particular with the school, talking with Paul, what kind of activities could the library offer for things at the school and that type of thing. So, so that's kind of where we're at. In that first phase, and this is where we're at. So our recommendation from the ad hoc was the PNC, not just from the economics, but from location. Really, that's really the big one, face value. I mean, and we've already got a partial commitment to that, right? So let's go
The
with that.
structure's already set.
Yeah, so that first phase, I think what we're really looking at is getting the library in there. So to move the library to the first floor of that building, there's going to have to be some structural improvements to support stacks of books in there. It was a bank building, you were looking at 300 pounds a square foot. We're needing 8 to 1,000 pounds a square foot, depending on how tall the book storage goes, okay? So there's gonna have to be some improvements there. Restrooms, get them up to code for head count, so on and so forth. I think with that, we would look at restroom, just the rough end for restroom improvements on the lower floor. Kind of take care of the rough end on that. But, and then we'll look at some initial meeting room space. And then really what we're gonna do with the entrance and exiting in there, and how, if we're gonna use it for a community center, how do you isolate off the library and that traffic flow? Still keep the 2 exits from the basement level, if you're using that for your community center. And got some ideas on that, I think. So yeah, I think the big thing's the phasing.
Are you guys still thinking a joint project, or are you thinking this is a library project now?
Well, it depends on, define joint.
Well, before we had a pretty complicated structure. The town coalition paid for half, the library paid for half, they shared some of the common area costs.
I think really, Andy, that's up for discussion, because we've got to decide what our future is all about. So the biggest thing that I can say is the library is here, we're rateable, we want to rock and roll. We want to be a partner with you guys because we feel this is so vital to the downtown. It's a renovation, it'll be a restoration, it'll be a phenomenal new creation, because I probably talked to 50 or 60 people. I was told, well, how cool, Cherubusco will get a library. Seriously. So we put it on a little side street, hid it behind trees, put it in an all brick building, no window. I mean, there's so much, and yet I used to be hidden back there in those bookshelves. My mom couldn't find me, called the librarian, yep, she's here. So the library was there for people who were seeking it, but we need people to come to it and recognize, like, I talked to somebody who's gonna join our board, and he said, this is really, I said, I actually realized that I didn't need to be buying all these video games, because I could just check them out at the library and then return them 3 days later. And in other communities, a library is a resource, like, you wanna go see the constellations, guess what? There's something called a Library of Things, Kendallville has it, you can go pull out a telescope for 3 days, 4 days, whatever. And the library is a resource to the community, and ours has not been by design, unfortunately. So we gotta talk about how it's gonna work, because we don't think we just need a library. We need a community piece that brings it all together. So it's all of us together, whether we formalize that, or whether it's just with making sure you guys all know what's up and what we're doing. But I think if we pull this all back together and work together and be open about it, and that's the way I roll, I'm very open and transparent. That being said, that's what I expect from the people that I'm working with and hope for, so let's figure out how do we best need this to work. I don't know, this is new to me.
Okay.
Great.
Because too, I know there were some agreements about rent and who was owning it, and like, so,
I mean, all that was because of the bond process.
yeah.
Yeah. It was,
A lot of this was convoluted because of the bond.
I would hope we wouldn't have to do it that way again.
Yeah.
It was really, really complicated structure. That, the bond, if we're not doing the bond, the library, are they still thinking about a bond?
We shouldn't need a bond.
Okay.
And the thing is too, like, I'll just say, the agricultural community really felt sideswiped by the whole bonding and everything. And unfortunately, they're the ones bearing the burden. So, it's just the unfortunate reality. Our money's available, and we just gotta turn over rocks and try to find it.
Sure.
And two, I mean, the bond, it is certainly possible, it's just difficult. It's just gonna be extremely difficult based on everything that happened in the State House, and, it may happen in the future, and it's kind of crazy with me being involved, and I just ask lots of questions, that's just the way I am. So, at one of the meetings, I had talked to the Albion Library and said, well, I read with interest how you renovated your building and did like a $2 million renovation and didn't increase any of your tax rates. How did you do that? And she told me, well, basically, you just roll new bonds as soon as those other matures. And I'm like, and I tell the board that, and they're like, oh my God, the school does that. We didn't know we could do that. So there's just a lot of things that just haven't happened. And it's really just trying to craft and direct people in a plan, and you guys know it when you're on town council, there's no training you go to get you on the town council. So I've just been on a lot of boards, I've done a lot of things in my life, and it's just my way to give back, but a lot of guidance and going, why don't you do that? Why don't you ask the question? Let's move forward, let's do it. So.
Yeah, so, just one other comment, so what is fundraising,
And a hope and a prayer.
prayer. Next phase, as far as the structure, we're gonna try and come up with some sort of schematic plan, what this is all gonna entail. Then we can look at some more refined costs, and then really look at the schedule then of what that development is gonna be. How we're gonna split it up in phases, and then get that to a point where we can present it more overall to the community.
But we probably need to really start deciding what structure we're gonna do, that's gonna be really the first thing. Cause like the library could just hire Steve, and we've got the money to do it, and maybe that's what we do so we can advance forward. But we gotta figure out what our structure is gonna be. That's gonna be the first step, because then we can move forward, because as he said, and the whole thing about creating and having the coalition as an entity is we do public bid, it's gonna add a lot to the cost. It just does, the process is there. And I had said we were just gonna make sure that the coalition continues in its activity within the town, that it continues to have a purpose, so there's no accusation of circumventing those rules, and that's, because like, talk to Andy about that.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll just have to see how it all shakes out, because if the library kind of takes over and does it, you're gonna have to do public.
Yeah.
But I would ask him about if he's familiar with the BOT process, build, operate, transfer. I don't know if you heard of that.
I don't know if you.
I've just had a lot of success with that lately, and, you know, it's BOT is the acronym. But it's a statutory process, but you have essentially an RFP, and then you find a bill, then you can negotiate and say, hey, this costs too much, can we take that out? And you know, be creative like you would with a contractor, and it allows flexibility under the statute in a project
It's
like
still
this.
a public funding
It's still
environment.
public, yeah, and it's not good for every project, but a project like this where you're gonna have to sit down and say, we can't afford to do this now, we can do this now, you can sit down with a contractor after you select them and actually negotiate your guaranteed maximum price and then enter into a contract. That may be a good fit.
So, and that may be something associated too, as Steve's working with his co-op, because that's part of the thing with the co-op, is being able to have pre-negotiated and streamlining pricing arrangements. So there's something with that. I don't think that's not what he was talking about.
No, that wasn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, the co-op thing, is local businesses, national manufacturers, like Train's in that coalition. So if we had to do some changing on HVAC, Train has a cost structure in place for these type of co-op things. I'm gonna imagine probably, plumbing fixture vendors are probably as well. So those type things.
Well, in the Whitley County project with the students, that's had to be a public project, and they're using those students to cut costs, so they had to go through that process.
I would think so.
So that's what Steve is just, that's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking, that we gotta get Steve together with you and maybe somebody here, and then figure out what structure makes the most sense.
And Lisa and Deb are the
Yep.
two board members right now.
Yep.
I mean, hopefully more soon, but
Makes sense. Thanks for coming tonight, Lisa.
Yeah, thanks
It's
so much
terrific.
for the insight. and I-
Appreciate both of you coming.
We're pretty excited. I think the opportunity is now for this, just with the support I'm hearing from various foundations. And in once upon a time, there used to be just a few foundations. There's a lot of them out there, but they all have chosen purposes. So that's what, like the Don Wood Foundation, big in technology and entrepreneurship. Great program at the library right there. So trying to find those and matching those up, I think we'll be searching.
But yeah, and I think we're really open to this group, any other group in town, and what you kind of envision the uses that the community center spaces are. You know, what could the town use? What would be good?
So like if you go down to Peabody Library, it's kind of like a 2-story, but it's a walk out around the back. Baby showers in there. Then like go up to Garrett, they're having like gamers are meeting in one of their rooms and they're, and then over here is a Lego room where there's like, it just, the possibilities become endless, but we don't have anything that's even close to that. Lots of opportunity.
Yeah, again, I appreciate you two and the others that are on the board. Just for putting it on the time. Excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, and two, I apologize, the board's not here, and I told these guys about this morning because Mark asked me yesterday. But everybody is fully in support, and I'm just, the library board is really coming alive. There's a lot of great things starting to happen. So,
Thank you.
yeah, thanks so much.
Appreciate it.
So wait, when are we getting together and what are we doing?
I think I've been in a meeting with you before, again, doing that, too, and I like it.
I said this morning. I said my husband used to go, I don't like having meetings, nothing ever happens. I go, they do at my meetings.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious to me that it needs to happen sooner than later. right?
Absolutely.
I mean, because we need to start moving forward with at least having a concept of what the town wants and what the library wants, and, you know, we need to have that done, so.
It would be good if just like one of you came probably, so we don't have to have, we can have public meeting if you want, but, you know, just, and then you could come, one of you could come to the board meeting of the coalition, because we're a nonprofit, so. we
Well,
have-
one person would be a coach.
Oh, there you go, right, there you go. True. So there you go. I mean, we're negotiating projects, we could do an executive session. If we want to get together and negotiate something.
For sure.
Well, then too, I mean, the nice thing is, this isn't a dramatic change, this is just a redirection. Because the concept has already been put into place. Now we've just gotta figure out what's our reference point and who's gonna do what. So with that, then, Andy, should we try to create a date right now and then figure out who the parties are?
Works for me.
Okay. And then I'm thinking like sometime next week. Possibility. And Lisa, you're back there.
Next week, Monday's good, Friday's good.
Are you talking evenings?
Talking whenever we can make it happen, so I can meet, you're in Fort Wayne, I can meet as early as 8:15 in Cherubusco. And we probably need to meet in Busco, so I could do mornings, but evenings are good, it's just kind of trying to find a matchup. I could do late Monday afternoon, library board meeting,
Yes.
at 6.
Yeah, I can do that.
You could do like, not at 6, but like 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
The excitement of the do it. I don't care.
Well, I'm already on the coalition, so I didn't know if it was a coalition meeting or if it was.
I think that what Andy's suggesting is to do an executive session, and then all parties, including library board and council.
Yeah, I mean, it's we just get everybody in the same room and try to figure it out.
Think we can do that?
And that,
We're gonna
if you're doing that, it's gonna have to be later.
Well, because you're gonna need public notice stuff.
Well, that too, but I mean, I just, if you're getting all boards together, I think, just with the.
See, I don't know if we need all boards, because then it gets too wheels.
Well, you have a ad hoc committee created by your board
That's
for
right,
this
yeah,
purpose.
so that's right,
So you don't need your
exactly.
board.
We don't
Yeah.
need that.
I mean, you guys don't necessarily have to be there. I mean, I don't know, it's up to you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with one of us being there right now. I mean, especially starting on the preliminary piece of it. I mean, it's up to you. I mean, whatever you think.
Well, I think anything that comes out of this is gonna come back.
Yeah,
So it's gonna come back in the way.
Communication to have somebody there.
Assuming you can make it, you can wear both hats.
I just didn't want, I was these guys.
Yeah, no, of course.
If you're interested in doing that, sure, I'm fine with that. Sure.
And I think
Sounds
the
like
thing
it all
is-
has to be in the evening, right? That's an evening guy.
Yeah, so here's what I'm thinking too, is that now that you know this project's very much alive, start thinking about it.
Sure.
And thinking about what does the town need to have happen, and make sure that Devin, you're conveying that, whether it's concerns or requirements, so that we can all talk about those and figure out how to make it all structured. Because the thing is, like with the library, I know our current like financial stuff, and know we've gotta have additional money, there's gonna be more bills to pay and bigger space and all that kind of stuff. Certainly not out of the realm of possibility, it just makes things tighter. So.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so now going back, so should we try to get together on Monday? What's the earliest you can meet? In an afternoon?
4:15.
Can we do 4:15 on Monday and just get our conversation started?
Works for me.
Works for me.
And Lisa, you said where are we gonna meet?
Gotta love Lisa. I knew this was gonna happen.
4:15 Monday afternoon? And where are we gonna meet? We can meet here? Okay, let's do it. Well, awesome.
Cool.
Sounds true.
Thanks again.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Department reports, there's no other.
I-
Alright, Jeremy sent his report in. Had busy last couple days. This weekend with all the snow removal, appreciate all the work hours they put into that, for sure. Mr. Pattenbrock, how are things?
Just finishing up training. We've got one more big one at the school. Everyone have their hours in, get them in the state. It's just holiday season. So,
The new hire, is that, is he been hired yet, or is it?
yeah, so Dave, after you guys approved him, just onboarding, he's not ready yet. I still got uniforms and
Yeah.
stuff. Got Robert looking at the new patch. I'm gonna change the patch, or shoulder patch. It's just, it's been a generic one for like little towns forever. Just something just can distinguish us differently. So he's working on that, and we'll bring it to council and we're ready for that. Other than that, it's been pretty status quo, full staff, it's nice.
Good. Appreciate it.
Andy, did you have a chance to look at his SOPs and that?
Oh, I don't have it yet, but I'll get to you by next week.
Okay. And one other thing I had for you, Dustin, so the last time we talked, you talked about a concern with your radios.
Mhm.
Were you able to get like a quote on what a radio would look like? Or is
Yeah,
that-
so, we're still waiting on the grant that Robert wrote,
Okay,
for two. But basically, they're just under 12,000 apiece. For the new cellular part, just to buy. And then you have the added like $30 a month through AT&T. I know EMA, I go to a meeting with them on Wednesday as well. They're trying to put some new processes in. Essentially, they need a new tower. We need to dual up another tower in Whitley County. But obviously, that's something like a $2 or $3 million project that, just like everyone else, they're trying to look for money to support it.
What kind of tower?
Radio tower,
What's that?
radio tower.
You share that with a cell tower?
I have no idea. I am not the tech guy. I wouldn't think because it's an 800 tower. So we run on all 800 instead of VHF now. And I know we only have one tower. So what happens to us, and this is just I'm probably misspeaking, but ours going to site trunking. And so on an 800 tower, if for whatever reason the signal is more strong out of Kendallville, mine locks onto it and then it goes into what's site trunking. And so they can hear me, right? And people that are close hitting off that tower. So if there's a county guy up on 33 and he's bouncing off Kendallville, he can hear me. My dispatch can't hear me.
What kind of tower right here? Sure.
What's that?
Oh, I mean, it'd be fantastic, right? But
Well, maybe RFP says we get free space on the tower.
I don't know how that works. It's through IPSA, so it's a state ran system. But what I did to eliminate the issues we were having in-house is I pulled had EMA, the radio gurus, come and help me, and I pulled a radio out of one of our old cars that we're getting rid of, powered it up, they told me what to buy, and I climbed up into the attic and ran speaker wire to each office
I was
room.
wondering why you guys want to speak more.
Yeah, so I ran all 200 feet of that in that
Yes.
attic, which is,
I was like,
I thought there was
why
gonna
are
be floor in the
they-
attic, and there's not. So I walked on joists and, but now it's, again, I'm not a radio guy, but those are stronger. They put out a stronger signal from the cars do, the car radios. So now we've got it hooked up to our little antenna outside and we always get the radio traffic. You know, 99.9% of the time in the PD where these were failing because of the tin and metal and everything.
Contact the person who would be able to describe the specs that you need for a tower.
I would be Ed.
Ed Scott, he's
And Scott.
like a ham radio guru guy.
Because I'll ask, I mean, if it doesn't interfere with cell signal in the same tower, let's put an RFP that there, you need, whoever whoever gets this tower gig has to provide free space for the police department. There you go.
You'd love that.
Okay.
Where's this, what is this tower? I guess you're talking.
Oh, somebody wants to put a cell tower in the town.
The one we talked about,
Oh, living in space?
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know what they were renting it for.
but it's not for rent yet. We're gonna do an RFP. And
Rec that.
Request for
Yeah.
proposal to put it down.
Fantastic.
What's the timeline on that?
the tower, I wanted to start yesterday, so as soon as possible.
And
You wanted it started way.
3 months ago.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
and you want them to maintain your tower.
Either way, I mean, you know, pay to put up a tower.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know anything about anything, so maybe they may say,
I-
oh, you can't put these two things on the same tower, but I'll talk to Ed and we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
If he says,
Because even if it's like a booster or something, right? We boost from one of the PD to that, and they get this general area, because, and it's weird, because if you run fire radio or fire channels on this, a lot of times you can get the same service in these areas, but if you're running 800 for whatever reason, however that relays through the different, he would be able to.
yeah, I know
And
that.
I get sleepy tired when I start.
I've done this like this.
It's not my realm. I just need him to work.
I just always think like how we are, given the fact we live in the United States of America and most times things don't happen. But if I was gonna overthrow or do some bad stuff in Busco, I'd try to hit those radios so that you couldn't get, the signal couldn't get through.
Now you're giving people ideas.
I know. And there should be something.
This is,
that makes
this
sure-
is being recorded.
But you know what I mean, there has to be something, you gotta make sure that your scrambling can never, like, they can never scramble the signal. Right?
And I don't think it's, that's what I think, that it's ran by the state, it's on the 800, it's encrypted, we got channels that you can't hear, even if you're scanning it and so forth. But the backup to that is, and you can tell who has the money, right, is it goes off of cellular. So the county can unscrew their antennas, drive to Virginia and key up in Whitley County through a delay. But it's basically similar to the old school Nextel, right? It's that's all it is.
If I reach out to Ed and say, hey, Ed, what would you like to have on this tower? You can tell me exactly what you want.
Yeah, he's good. And he'll be all over it.
Yeah, you'll be excited about it. So-
Great.
Anything else?
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. Mr. Crowder?
Yeah, it's a lot of snow the last couple of days, and town boys are doing a pretty decent job as far as keeping the trails going. I know they were really busy around town. And Friday we'll be moving inside to start working on the inside buildings. So didn't quite get the leaves done with that big snow, but that's okay. Yeah, it's always next spring.
Thank you.
You better.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
I guess I have a late public comment
Yeah.
again. Tree lighting rescheduled for this Friday night at 6 p.m. since we were snowed out last Saturday night. So 6 p.m. Friday night, official tree lighting. Gary's still gonna be there. The sound masters are coming over from the school, another bake sale. Pretty much everything like it was, except Busco Beans is not able to be there.
Sure. On board.
Yep.
Sounds
There
really
we go. So, we're making it happen, just adjusting.
Appreciate all the time you guys have put into that. Anything from you, sir?
Nope.
Nothing from me.
I stopped, just to let you guys know, I stopped into Whitley County Community Foundations and had a conversation with September. Just kind of in relation with talking about the library and that, and she's really on board and really wanting to move forward with it and want to be a part of it, you know, those guys. So I thought it was a really good conversation, you know, so just, you know.
Natalie has been learning the new system, which I haven't even logged into yet. So that's been a huge ordeal for her, because everything's completely changed. I've got some training times that I'm gonna try to work into my schedule, which is difficult when Keystone works 7:30 to 4, and I work 7:30 to 4, so. But trying to get some training, because I will have to start doing payroll on that, not this next payroll, but the next payroll, so. The ACH ability, is rolling out. I know she posted something on Facebook. I really don't know much about it, but from what I've heard, I don't think that it's a charge, so. Credit cards are still a charge, but ACH, like automatic withdrawals, I do not believe are a charge, so. But again, it's been 8 months since I, spoke to Keystone about this even happening, so there's been a lot of stuff that's been in my brain and out of my brain, so. But yeah, other than that, I think I haven't heard much else, so. And I've got a whole laundry list of stuff that we're gonna have to do next meeting. So.
All right, everybody coming, meeting is adjourned.